this lecture we are going to discuss how to critique a research article using STROBE Checklist. Before starting with the lecture, I would suggest you to download the articles given in the description. One is the explanation for the STROBE Checklist. One is the equator STROBE guidelines, and one is the link for this article which we are going to discuss. That is, the oral diseases associated with condition-specific oral health-related quality of life and school performance of Thai primary school children, a hierarchical approach. This is the prologue. Before starting the critical analysis of the article or critical appraisal of the article, I would suggest you to add this to the journal club presentation. This prologue gives an introduction to the topic which we are going to discuss. It makes it easy for the audience to understand the subject before starting with the critical analysis of the article. So here I have discussed the child OIDP index. So this is the article. The aims and objectives of the article were to assess the hierarchical associations between children's school performance, school absence, and condition-specific oral health-related quality of life as proximal determinants, oral status, socio-demographic and economic status, social capital as distal determinants, and to investigate the association between condition-specific oral health-related quality of life and related oral diseases adjusting for the socio-economic background and social capital. The research question was whether dental caries and poor oral hygiene adversely affected the condition-specific oral health-related quality of life and subsequently affected the school performance independently of socio-economic background and social capital. Now we come to the critical evaluation and critical appraisal. So firstly we will describe about the article, what type of article it is, its volume number, issue number, year, when it was published, page number, when it was received by the journal, when it was accepted by the journal, when it was published online by the journal, and whether it is PubMed indexed or not. If it is PubMed indexed, we have to mention the PMID and the digital object identifier also I have mentioned here. Then about the journal, the name of the journal, the publication start year of the journal, the frequency of publication, the country of publication, the publisher, the language, the ISSN number, print and online, the impact factor, and whether it is peer reviewed or not. So all these terminologies of the journal club I have mentioned in my previous lecture on terminologies related to journal club. You can refer to that lecture for more details. Now these are the authors. So they have mentioned the authors' names, their institutional attachments, but the designations are not mentioned and the details of corresponding author are mentioned. Now the title is Oral Diseases Associated with Condition-Specific Oral Health-Related Quality of Life and School Performance of Thai Primary School Children, a Hierarchical Approach. Now this title is descriptive. About the types of titles I've mentioned in my previous lecture. So you can click on this link to go through that lecture. So this title is meaningful, indicates the topic in the focus of the study, about the aim in the primary objective, but not clearly. The study population is mentioned, that is the Thai primary school children. The study setting is mentioned, that is primary school. See, I've mentioned here primary school, Thai primary school children. This makes easy understanding of the audience. Okay, so it is a good idea to display all these terminologies which you find in the article over here. Then it does not indicate the design and the duration of the study and indicates the research question but not clearly. The variables are clearly mentioned in the title, the independent and the dependent variables. The independent variable is oral diseases and the dependent variables are school performance and condition-specific oral health-related quality of life. The title is meaningful but incomplete. The proposed alternative title is Exploring the Association of Oral Diseases, Condition-Specific Oral Health-Related Quality of Life, and Social Factors with School Performance Among the Primary School Children in Thailand, a cross-sectional study. Now we come to the abstract. It is a structured abstract. It is informative and comprehensive abstract. So whether it is structured or unstructured, these types and other types of abstracts I mentioned in the previous lecture. I am sharing the link over here. Okay? It gives a brief overview of the whole study. It is comprehensive in its contents. It gives an account of general information of the study result as conclusion. The information in the abstract matches with that given in the text. So whenever we read an abstract, we have to see whether the information which is given in the abstract or the numbers, figures which are given in the abstract, whether they are matching with the text or not. And it describes the study setting and not the study design. The keywords mentioned over here are children, dental caries, oral hygiene, quality of life, school performance. Okay, so few of them are mesh terms. So I've shown in my previous lecture how to use a mesh browser, what is the link for the mesh browser, and how we can find out what are mesh terms using that browser. Next, STROBE statement. This is a checklist for evaluating the observational studies. So item number 1, A and B, I've shown over here whether it is mentioned or not, and on the right hand side. So if you typically write what exactly from the item is mentioned and what exactly is not mentioned, if you mention that clearly over here, it makes a very good understanding for the audience of this article. Next we come to introduction. The background they have mentioned in the introduction, what all studies have been done. Okay, so for this I have not mentioned all the text in a single slide. I have segregated them. I have made a table for easier understanding of the audience. You can display your background this way also. Okay, then the rationale. The rationale is the need for the study they have mentioned. Okay, so the critical appraisal of the introduction. So it is presented in seminar approach. Other approaches also I have explained in my previous lecture. You can click on the link and find out. Then it is written based on existing literature. The rationale for the study is justified and the previous studies have been mentioned. The aim and the objectives of the study are mentioned and the research question has been mentioned. This is the STROBE statement. The checklist with item number 2 and 3, and you can see how I have mentioned the page numbers and the text what all is given in the article. Then we come to material methods, the ethical approval and consent, study design, study size, the participants, how the participants were chosen. I have shown it with a flow diagram. Then the data sources and measurement. Then the indices for dental caries, oral hygiene, oral health related quality of life, socio-demographic and economic status, school absenteeism and performance, school social capital measures, and the statistical analysis, what all tests they have used, the models they have used. All this is mentioned in the materials and methods. So let us come to the critical appraisal of material and methods. The permissions and the ethical formalities they have mentioned. Sample size calculation has been mentioned. The recruitment of the study subjects. For that, the source has been mentioned. Inclusion criteria over here seems inadequate and they have not mentioned the exclusion criteria. The study design they have mentioned as cross-sectional study. They have mentioned the potential confounders and controlled them for the analysis. A validated Thai language child OIEP questionnaire was not available. and a validated social capital index was not available. The statistical tests which are employed are appropriate and justified. This is the STROBE statement for item number 4 to 7, 8 to 11, 12, 8 to 12E, and then we come to results. For the results, if you just copy all the text which is given in the article onto the slides, it won't be helpful for the audience. So it is better to stick only the tables over here and discuss them. It is a good idea to highlight the statistically significant figures over here like this. If anything you find inappropriate, that also you can mark over here. So this is the critical appraisal of the results. So the tables are presented in logical and comprehensible manner. They are numbered and titled properly. They are based on the aims and objectives of the study. Results presented in the tables and text do not match with each other. So you have to see whether the text which is there and the results which are presented in the tables, are they matching with each other, and the footnotes are mentioned. Now this is the STROBE statement, item number 13, 14 and 15, 16 to 17, and then we come to discussion, in which they explain or justify what all findings they have got and compare them with the previous studies. Also, they mention the limitations and the strengths of the study. And this is the conclusion. Other information that they have mentioned are funding and conflict of interest. So this is the STROBE statement again for the items 18 to 22. Now we have done the critical appraisal. This is the critical reflection, in which the internal validity is good except for the non-validated social capital measures, and the external validity SDES for different regions must be kept in mind while generalizing the results. So whether the results are generalizable or not has to be seen. Now the references. The references have been made for every citation in the text. References follow Vancouver style. References are written properly, and the most recent reference cited here is of year 2016. So this is how we critically appraise a research article using the STROBE checklist. So if you have any doubts, you can mention them in the chat box. Also, if you want me to make a lecture on any of the topic which you find difficult, you can mention that in the comment section. Thank you.